family. Mother actually was the rep for the whole state of Florida till she was 82. Now the company started in 1982, and they named it after Mother. My sister and her neighbor, we were on a trip to Florida for Dad's birthday in February, and we stopped in Atlanta to change planes to go our separate ways. I lived in South Carolina, and Barbie and Pat lived in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And Barb said, the lady's luggage is just not pretty. It's all brown leather and it's not pretty. Why don't we come up with some pretty luggage? And they went back to Fort Wayne. They bought a pattern from McCall's or Butterick or one of those, hired a seamstress to make the bag. They never sewed the bags. Everybody said, oh, you know, do they sew the bag? No, they didn't sew the bag. It might have been hard to put one of those big zippers in, I think. But they had hired somebody. And then they had the prototype, and they then cut out patterns in women. They put an ad in the paper for sewers, and they said, if you can sew well, come in, pick up the pattern from their home, and sew it, and bring it back. And if it's made well enough, we'll hire you. So it was actually a cottage industry for about 2 years. And they'd pick up 5 patterns and sew them and bring them back. And it got to be very hard because they'd bring them back during dinner or something like that and want to talk. And Barb has 4 children, Pat has 3 children. So they hired 2 of the people that were sewing to start a little company, and they handled the people bringing the product back. And we did a Chicago gift show. That was our first show. We used to write on the yellow legal pad. We'd write down, you know, what one duffel. You could buy 1 duffel. And I don't know if any of you have been to a gift show, but that's where Kathy and them go and buy all these beautiful things that are in the store. And you go to this thing in Chicago or New York, and you buy all the different. So that's what they did the first time, and we sold a lot. We had clothes also in the beginning, and I have a book in the other room if you want to look through it. You can see some of our clothes. We had skirts and jackets and jumpers and little girls' clothes. And that was tricky because of the sizing, so we didn't do that too much. But they named the company after Mother. When they had this idea and thought, well, it's going to work, they thought, well, we have to name the company. So they called Mother and said, we're going to start a little company and we'd like to name it after you, and we're going to make purses. And Mother said, what are the purses going to look like? She wasn't just going to say, okay. She wanted to know. So they named it after Mother. And everyone says, why didn't they name it after Pat's mother? And Pat's mother's name was Wilma Polito. I think that would be nearly as nice sounding as Vera Bradley. So anyway.
You couldn't even imagine carrying a bag called Wilma.
Wilma.
You know, I mean, when you think of